Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Puzzle of Love podcast. I am your sucker for love host, since I'm a hopeless romantic, Dante, with the gorgeous, lovely, wonderful,
Selena.
and we have another fabulous couple with us today. We have Roderick and Rosa. Say hi to the Puzzle of Love listeners out there.
Hello.
Hi, Puzzle of Love listeners.
And Puzzle of Love is what I think is a cool title because we all have our own little puzzle pieces that we put together collectively um, to make our love successful. So we're going to dive into some of the pieces that make Roderick and Rosa such a wonderful couple. But the only way to really start that is if we understand how these two met, how these two came together. So those who listen faithfully know that we have an origin story game with no real name to it. So I've just been calling it the 2 minute drill, where each of you get 1 minute to contribute to the origin story that is Roderick and Rosa. And how it goes is one of you will start, tell us from the beginning how you met, and go as far as you can in regards to your story, as much as you can in that minute. Wherever you leave off, the second person will pick up that story and run with it from there. So you each get a minute uninterrupted. That's the only rule. You cannot interrupt the other because we both have our own perceptions on how we met. So, Roderick, you won to determine the order. So, will you start the story or will you finish the story?
I'm gonna start the story because I know she'll come behind and close in a proper way with all the missing details if I missed or anything like that, and pertinent details.
Okay.
Uh, so she'll be the closing argument in this situation. If you want to use a court type situation like that.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Queenie, you have the time. So, I'll count you in and the time is yours. Three, two, one.
We met back in 2001, I believe. Yeah, way back. 2001, I was at the Union Gospel Mission Youth Reach Out Center working as a youth intern. And I met Rosa. It was in December of that year. Yeah. And she was working, volunteering in the youth department. And she was volunteering for the 2 week period that we had winter break there. And let's just say when I first met her, um, number one, I thought when I first seen her, I thought she was beautiful. Number one, start with that. But when we started to interact, interacted, she was very much. I thought like, who? What kind of? She just had it. She was very. Let's say, oh, man, she just had a. She had a. She was not. She was not. She was not one of the people that you could just go up to and just say something to, and then not her comment about how you look. She told me about herself. I got to introduce myself. I tried to act like I was so important there, and I was not really that important there. I was just a youth intern. So every time I wanted to seem like I was important, I would walk in front of her and do certain things, act like I was trying to be cool or important. But she
Oh, time,
Time.
time, time.
watched
All right.
this,
All right, Rosa,
close
you
it
get to
out.
pick it up.
So he did try to act like he was very important and would always come to my desk asking if there were messages, knowing good and well that he had a direct line to his office. And so any voicemails would go directly to his voicemail. So when my mom would come to pick me up afterwards, we would fight all the way from the front desk to the outside.
Mhm.
We got in trouble by the boss telling us that we couldn't be flirting at work at a Christian facility. And then he found a way to trick me into a date, saying that he and the other employees were rewarding the volunteers, of which there were one, me, taking them to the movie. And when we got there, I realized it was the other two employees that were dating him and I. And the fifth person went and sat 18 rows back. And by the end of the movie, we were holding hands. And when we left and dropped everyone off, we had our first date at Subway.
Oh,
She was timing also, by the way, just to let you
Of
know.
course.
Quilina knows too. Like, look, dude, look, she was timing also.
she
So
wanted to make sure she got her full 60 seconds in and we weren't shirt changing.
She timed me as well too. So it wasn't just her. So she timed both of us. Kalina knows that's why she laughed. Of course she did.
Okay. Do you want to try to recap this one, babe, or should I?
No, go ahead.
All right. So met late 2001, almost 2002. Both working at the Union Gospel Mission, one as an intern, one as a volunteer. The intern did a terrible job. I'll just say this. It sounds like did a terrible job of assuming a role that was bigger than what was really an intern, but made the attempt. Did a suave move in coaxing the volunteer into a date,
Thank you so much.
which landed as it should. By the end of the date, you were holding hands. I don't know that the movie is even important, but do you guys remember what movie y'all went to see?
It was Ali.
I still have not seen that movie.
She's still
To
not
this
seen
day.
all the way through. It
I
was
fell
Ali
asleep.
with Will Smith. It was
late.
It was very slow. It's just, I mean, even now it's kind of slow now, but it was Ali.
It was Ali. Okay. So you guys went from holding hands to now married with children, no pun intended, on the show. But before we fast forward to how we got to today, I want to share just a little bit. We've never done this before, but I think it's on par with your story. So you guys both did the pre-screener, did the survey questions for the show, and we ask about first impressions. And I don't know if you two have shared your answers with one another, but I'd love to do that right now.
We have.
Okay, wonderful. Rosa, you said he was a conceited goody two-shoes. And Roderick said, she thinks she's better than me. Laugh out loud. No, the most beautiful person I ever seen. So it sounds a little bit, a lot of it on par with what you guys shared in your story. So very consistent. You were captivated, Roderick, and you were not impressed, Rosa, at least not initially.
Oh, she was not impressed, and she was not impressed also with the fact that my shoe game was not up to par. I learned something very much about that. So I didn't have fresh Air Force Ones and stuff like that. She was into that type of stuff, and so
Okay, that's been a consistent theme. Have you noticed that? People have really pointed out the fact that shoes played a huge role.
I had a horrible shoe game, and so but she's married to me now, so I guess my shoe game must have improved, I guess.
When I left out was that when I first saw Roderick, I literally was immediately drawn to him, and I couldn't figure out why. I think it was definitely a kindred spirit. Like I just had to know, like, gave him the rundown, the drill of like, do you know this person? Do you know this person? Did you go to school here? Did you go to school there? I was trying to figure out what the connection was, like immediately, because there was something there that I couldn't put my finger on. I didn't know that this was my husband, but there was definitely something there. And I tell everybody that despite all the conceited in the shoes that look like he mowed the lawn in them, let me get past that, because he literally was like the most genuine person I had ever met in my entire life, still is. Definitely love that he saw the good in everybody, and people that we did find out that we knew mutually, he just could never have a bad word to say about anyone. Everyone was redeemable in his eyes, and so that was hugely commendable to me.
Hey, kept it a buck, like the kids say, kept it a buck. No, I
All
mean,
right. Go ahead, Rod. Go ahead.
I mean, but honestly, from we met, I thought that, she thought she was better than everybody else. But I think that after that night, I think we sat in the car that night. We talked for about at least about 5 hours outside my house that night. After that evening, it's like that, and I got to know a lot about her, and it was very. She wasn't bloviated about all the stuff that I'm so good at this. And it was just like, wow, let me hear this story, and this story about somebody's life. And it was just remarkable of what she's gone through, and just like, oh, you said you hear the gospel song, I don't like what I've been through type situation. You're like, oh, what? You went through all that? What? No, and so that was amazing stuff like that. And then, of course, at the time I was coaching little league basketball at the time. And so, I'm after this 5-hour conversation, I'm just like, man, it's too good to be true. So I gave my numbers. Hey, here's my number. You want to give me a call or something like that. No, in my head, no pressure. I got this basketball game tomorrow with the kids and stuff like that. You want to give me a call. And I was just, I couldn't believe the conversation we had. I was like, wow. And the next day she called me on the phone about the basketball game, came to the basketball game that day. I have a picture still of us where we were outside I think it was Mercer's middle school's gym, where she had her bracelet, a black jacket on, and I had my little red sweatshirt on, my old little red Gap sweatshirt at the time. And I still remember us, we had a hug, we took a photo together and hugged, and I still have that photo still. And so I did not know this was going to be, somebody I was going to end up marrying and stuff like that. And so I was just like, wow. Yeah. I mean, all the fake conceitedness, I probably was very shy and had a low self-esteem behind all that. That was just it was all kind of being just this guy who's trying to be confident, but behind all that, I was just probably just like, man, I don't know if she's gonna dig a guy like me. So I was kind of that in my head about that a lot of times. Still am to this day, still pinching myself, still pinching myself still about that. So
it was bravado.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was male bravado that it was all trying to be like, let me be confident. Cause it's like, I'm in my head like, oh, this type of girl that likes guys who are confident like this, and I can do this. And I'll walk around and act like I was so important and stuff like that. It was hilarious within itself. If it was recreated in like SNL, it would be hilarious or something like that. It was like, who is this guy doing? I would have got laughed at profusely just for trying to be this person. But at the end of the day, that 5-hour conversation really kind of it thinned out a lot of things and just like, okay. Well received on both ends.
So, I mean, that's a lot, but that doesn't even scratch the surface because a lot has transpired between those early meetings, that late night honey drip over what we will call a well-rested Rosa, since she didn't see much of Ali that night. So that's probably why the conversation went 5 hours. But for you guys to, enjoy a youth basketball game together, but there's a lot between then and now. So let's kind of fill in the blanks a little bit, and I'll fast forward to what I like to call the transition. The transition is before and after saying I do. Because I'm sure Roderick and Rosa before I do and after are two completely different stories.
Mhm.
So, Rod, I'll turn to you first. Talk to me, or talk to us all. Kind of walk us through sort of the aha moments that you may have had, through that transition of being newlyweds, and maybe even moments where you're like, I didn't know this is what I signed up for. Or, hey, this is a nugget where I'm glad this is what marriage is all about.
I think the aha moment came in, I think for me, the third year for me of marriage, because the realization came, we got past we were in our first, place together, and we had Joshua, we had a child after that. But I think for me, I'll pivot back to the year after, and I'll get pivoted in that after that. But I think the realization when you recognize, your clothes are on the floor on your side of the bed, your clothes on the floor when you're going to when you're just on the floor, and the realization is, oh man, this ain't my room no more. I'm sharing this room now with somebody else now. And I think that you have to, learning that it's not just about you now, you're thinking for somebody else. You thinking for not just yourself no more. So like the way I paid bills was certain, was always about how I paid bills a certain way, or how I spent my money a certain way and stuff like that. And the realization was, wait a minute, we are married, so it's like, wait a minute, we're in a situation where we're doing things together. And I think that was a culture shock from when we were dating and stuff like that, and just like, oh, we drop her off at the house and go back to my house like that. And it just was different in that regard. But I think it's just the transition of going to learning that it's not just about you now, it's about two people, and merging in to be one together that was a transitional period for me. And I think learning that when like leaving clothes on the floor, or just not picking up after myself stuff, because your mind is, you're living for yourself for so many years. And I was so used to my household because I was the only son with my mom and 2 sisters doing so many things, and like sleeping in as I want to sleep in, it's like that. Oh, I'll take care of this, I take care of it, it's like that. It's a different transition like that. It's a different mind and focus like that. And coming together to work together is always a constant daily thing. It's not something you just figure out, but working together is something that you have to continue to just learn it. And I think for me, that was the big thing. Like when she realized, when she had to let me know that whole thing, that you're not living by yourself right now. We're under, you got to pick up after yourself. At the same time, let's work together to keep our house looking a certain way and stuff like that. So trial and error. I mean, because it's always still learning that process. Still, sometimes in the hustle and bustle of things, it's still a learning process. And so for me, that was the moment for me where I realized, okay, let me step out of this. We got to start doing things. And that's when we kind of transitioned into kind of merging stuff together and doing things as a team, or like paying bills. Like, how does it look to have a joint account together? How does it look to, pay bills when we do it at a certain time? Like what methods work for her? I switched doggone banks. I was on Bank of America getting robbed, and I had to, what bank are you using? Hey, what are you using? Wells Fargo? Moved over to Wells Fargo. Been doing it ever since. I was on I was on Sprint for a long time using cell phone. Oh, what cell phone are you using now? It took a lot of things that I had to say, that I was used to doing, and looked at what some stuff she was doing. What will save us money in this regard, like this? Merging phone bills, thank God she got me. She rescued me from State Farm Insurance. Thank the Lord. I was in purgatory with them guys for so long, and saved me and got me over to Geico. Best insurance ever. I'm just like, so a lot of things I can say, not saying that, because I'm the man, I think I know everything, but saying, hey, what things work for you? What things have worked in your behalf? And it's kind of merging that together. And so that's been helpful. And that's helped me kind of be budgeting better, and help me and think in process of how we do stuff. And so, yeah, it's been helpful. Yeah, that was my aha moment for me. Not to dog on anybody else's insurances in phone companies. I'm just saying for me. I forget the podcast is being recorded. She was like, "Oh, I got something to say about me." I'm just saying for me. That was all for me.
I was gonna say you.
Everybody like, wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa, wait a minute. I'm saying for myself.
And for those Bank of America sponsors that are out there.
Sorry, you got, if it's a sponsorship going on, I know, like Kevin Hart said, you got to pay some bills. If you don't have to be a sponsorship come up like that. But just letting y'all know, that's from my perspective, from me, speaking for myself.
Yeah, the puzzle, I'll put this disclaimer in there. The puzzle of love does not agree with, those are his thoughts and only his thoughts.
Gotta put it out there, yeah.
Those disclaimers for any of our listeners who may have State Farm or Geico, perhaps Wells Fargo or Bank of America. We love you all. Keep streaming. Go ahead, Rosa, and give us your
aha. I think as I'm listening to him, I mean, I agree with a lot of those things. My aha was that they say opposites attract, and we had a lot of things that we were opposite with. So I was very glad. So this is one thing my dad, bless his life, twice divorced. When I was getting married, he said, I was like, oh, we just get a small little place, 600 square feet. He was like, no, get the biggest place you can possibly get, because you're going to need your own space. And so we did. Our first place was like 1,200 square feet. So he had his own room downstairs for his closet space and his bathroom, and mine was upstairs, closet space and bathroom. We didn't share. That was a godsend. I feel like that's why we're still married now. Because I could have ended the whole situation. And then we worked into it to sharing later in places we had later. But I think it was that, I came from a family, big family. We always did everything together. 5 siblings on my mom's side, 13 siblings on my dad's side. And then I came from a culture of high school and college friends where we did group dates. So we did everything together, like 15, 20 deep regularly. And that was how I spent like the last 8 years of my life. And then getting married was a lot of like, not big family dinners, not big family gatherings, not big group dates. And that was something that I had to get used to. And, we had to figure out how both of us could manage getting served in that, and not one person feeling left out for what they weren't used to or didn't not even that they needed to get used to it, but they just didn't necessarily want to do or shift to. And then my other aha moment was that I am not really like have not been a screen time person. So I literally, our apartment, I was there for a month before we got married. I didn't know we had cable because I never turned the TV on because I just figured we didn't have it until he came and said, you just got to plug in this cord. And I literally just will listen to music every night. And so he's more of a television person and he's more of a night person. I'm more of a morning person and a music person. And so that was something that we had to kind of figure out and get used to, because I want to be up and making a lot of noise and loud in the morning early. And he was wanting that at night. And I would be like, I can't kick it. Like I've been up since 5. Like I'm done for the day. After dinner, like I'm out, like knocked out. So that felt weird, being married and living in the same place, but almost like never seeing each other because of work and church and school. And then our ships in the night schedule made it weird. So
all right, well, I'm gonna give us some time to take a quick break, and we always go into a break. Rosie, you'll love this. It's right on par, because we always go into break with music, and the song you chose, actually, Rosa. So we're going to go into break listening to one of my favorites, which people were probably going to get tired of hearing me say, but I love R&B, so they're probably all going to be my favorites. But this truly is one of the greatest songs off of one of the greatest albums ever written, Confessions by Usher.
Hey.
So we have a question for you guys. As far as like activities and things, there's tons of things that we can do with our partner. So what are some favorite things you guys like to do with each other?
Well, favorite thing that I want to do that we haven't done, that I think when we start doing it will be my favorite, is golfing. I've been promised that we're gonna go.
Yeah, excited about that.
Do some golfing. Other than that, favorite thing to do together we haven't been able to do since COVID is go to the movies.
Oh yeah.
Our couple friends have always hated us because we can never get a date because we've already seen every movie that's ever come out and the movies that haven't come out yet. So we're not fun double dates to movies. But yeah, I think hands down movies.
Yeah, I was. Huh?
I was gonna say any other activities that you could think of, Ron?
What we've gotten into now, I think too, is we did it one time. I think we got to do it again. But I did enjoy doing we do crossword puzzle. We did a crossword puzzle together, and we was very well surprised how much fun it was when we did it together. It's like that. So, and we at the end we see how much knowledge we know, and she's smart as all get out. So I think that we both match wits in the crossword puzzle department with certain things. So that was pretty fun. Things we did during the time of COVID, which is fun, And we did another one where we had to create words out of certain like if it's the president, where the word president or something like that. We just, how many words can you make and how fast we can make words. That was a pretty fun little game we did too. So yeah.
That reminds me of a game that we played together on one of our first double dates, Last Word.
Yeah. Dang, we haven't played Last Word in a minute.
Yeah,
We don't even have that anymore.
Yeah.
Or did you guys bring that?
I think that was something we brought. I think,
Mhm.
but I think you guys picked it up for yourselves. I think when we brought it, it was the first time you two had ever played it.
Mhm.
Yes.
If memory serves me correctly. And
Yeah.
what was the word that Roderick said that
Mhm.
you guys? For those who don't know, Last Word, look it up. It's a fun game. But Roderick said a word, or maybe Rosa said a word, and Roderick had some commentary on it or something. All I know is that we were cracking up.
I'm surprised you don't
Pretty
remember.
fun.
I'm surprised. I know because it was our inside joke for a long time, but I've forgotten now.
I thought it was an S.
It was. I now know. Hey, listen, Puzzle Love listeners, you should be adults anyway. So if there are children listening, it's your fault. The word was scrotum. And Roderick was like, out of all the words, that's what you came up with? That's what you thought?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, interesting indeed.
you two are, when I think of like activities and creative things to do, you two are the ones that come to mind first, because everyone's done the movies, right? Everyone's done the dinner and a movie date or something like that. You guys think of like really cool creative ways that don't have to be like super extravagant. Something like challenging each other to a word search or crossword puzzle, or maybe not even challenging, making it competition, but let's team up and see if we could get this thing done together. I personally don't like, well, I shouldn't say don't like, but I'm not good at crossword puzzles. Word searches all day long. Like if you want to search the words, that's fine, but I'm gonna need a teammate. So that would be something that I'm gonna look at Quinn and say, hey, maybe we should knock out this crossword puzzle together. And if we come across a word that neither one of us can figure it out, we're definitely googling it. So no, that's cool to hear. Now, do you guys have a favorite TV show, or do you guys have that sacred show that cannot be watched without the others present?
The others present.
We have like 17.
Got the other present. That's an
So
interesting
you're into the screen now? Because before you didn't like the screen time. So now you've kind of crossed over to where you watch TV.
Yeah, he converted me. So there's things like he didn't like ice. Now he eats the ice, and I don't get ice.
I don't eat the ice.
It's not part of my life anymore.
I put the ice in my drink now more than I do before. I don't eat ice. I just can't chew ice.
It's not part of my life anymore. I don't get ice. But I share the screen time. We do watch stuff together. So there's literally like 17 shows we can't watch without each other.
No TV without each other.
No, she doesn't watch a lot of sports documentaries that I watch. So I watch a lot of sports docs, or I watch other documentaries, political documentaries, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff like that, she's not gonna watch. Like there's news shows I watch. I like the news. I'm a political history junkie, and so she's not gonna watch, biographies on somebody that's historical context. I like doing that. I'm a nerd in that part like that. That's
Make me seem like the dumb one. But
no, she like the news has a lot of negative stuff on there. I mean, let's be honest. It's so everybody watches.
Not everybody likes the news.
And I get that she does not want to watch the news. She's not going to watch the news. Like I watch it because I like to be up to date on stuff like that and what goes on. And then also I love Sports Center, of course. She can only take so much of Sports Center. She's not going to watch a lot of shows of Sports Center or the ESPN documentaries. I like to watch those things, but she has her show.
I watch one or two, but if I watch a show, if I have to try to find and search and dig for a show that we're not already watching together, as soon as I've binged 5 episodes, when he comes back and I tell him how amazing it was, I have to go back to the beginning and watch all 5 shows with him again so that we can now watch it together. And then no longer is it my show. I cannot watch it.
Maybe you shouldn't tell him how amazing it is.
And the same thing likewise for me.
Feel like I did.
She does that too. So I mean, we do that with shows. She got me watching, and I can't even take credit for this. And I'm gonna say this, if you've seen this, don't know spoilers alert, but she got me watching Power.
Oh, yeah.
I would never watch Power until she told me about it. And so literally, because it was that good of a show. She literally let me she rewatched with me the first 2 seasons all the way on, and I've been hooked ever since. It's got great writing to it. So she's been, and then also if I can just get her to watch The Wire with me.
I tried. I gave a good college
after season 3, I told her not to get attached to characters, and she got attached to one particular character. I said, this is not a show you only attach characters on because, and she got attached to one particular character. I'm not going to say the name of the character.
Well, that's not my fault, and I'll never watch again. And that's their bad for writing it like that.
Wire is one of the greatest shows ever written for television. I mean, hands down, 5 seasons. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Shame. The Wire.
I said I would go back,
but she will. But she has said she'll go back and watch it. So I mean, we'll have to binge watch it. But it's a great show. It's just one of them shows that it just speaks to what I mean. It's a real show. It's real gritty. It's a good show. So
it is good. But we watch everything.
Everything else we watch.
Insecure.
Together. Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale. Power. Euphoria.
We just did Euphoria because she did.
All American.
All American's a great show.
This Is Us. We weren't watching without each other.
We did watch all Scandal get together.
Scandal. How to Get Away with Murder.
We watched that to season 3.5, and she said, "Oh, I'm done." I was like, "All right." I started watching it too. I mean, I'm like,
Grownish. We don't watch without each other.
Grownish is a good show. We stopped watching Blackish. We stopped watching Blackish after about 5
seasons. We did because it got depressing. I don't want to watch them get divorced.
Yeah,
that hurt my whole life.
It got dark, but yeah. So we watched that, and then and then she picked some shows I had never thought about watching. Like she got me on Squid Games. I didn't.
Squid Games.
She told me, "You watch Squid Games?" Like I never watched it, and we got hooked on it and binge watched it. Atypical is a great show. So yeah. So
we got a lot of TV that we need to catch up on.
Well, we started a new one.
No, technically you started because I keep falling asleep, but Our Kind of People.
Oh, the one with I heard about that on 13.
With
Morris Chestnut.
And Lance Gross.
You said that pretty quick.
What?
Morris Chestnut.
Oh my God. Morris Chestnut. That's only one I can remember.
Yeah,
that's movie.
Yeah, it's Morris Chestnut and Lance Gross. Okay, you said that twice. That's 2 times.
Oh my God.
She said Lance. We're gonna play it back.
Oh my God. Okay. So.
But that's and the cool thing about it is even with the shows we watch, I have to give one of the things that we also are starting to incorporate now, which I thought was brilliant, was us reading together.
Mm-hmm.
We I know my wife wrote a book and all, which is right behind you, by the way. Plug that. Let's pay some bills real quick. The Monster in My Room, if you've not picked it up, rosiecolleybee.com. Just want to put that out there too. I'm gonna pay some bills real quick. There we go.
That is www.ROSIE like Edward COLEY.
Where's
BEE.com. Check the comments.
Get your book. And she also wrote a children's book called Todd's Big House, and that's also on that website. So anyways, back to what I was saying. we have also developed this thing about reading. We are now a family of readers now in here, and I'm really glad because after a while when I was in school, I just said, man, forget reading because I didn't want to read no more. But her writing this book and her rekindled the love for reading again. So we do this thing also where as a family we read, like we grab 6 books and then we read for, I think we read 10 minutes for each book.
It's 5 minutes.
Okay.
For each book. And then we time, my handy dandy timer.
She times it.
So all of us get our 6 books and we have to stop when the 5 minutes is up and go to the next book. And then we all share what we got out of those 5 minutes of each book with each other. That was my favorite summertime activity, actually.
And teaches the kids about reading, got us about reading comprehension, and also was like, oh man, and it just engaged you in books. Like it was easy way to kind of like little, steps to kind of like get through your books while you're reading it. So it was pretty cool. And so, yeah, we try to incorporate the reading aspect of it because I mean, we are, we got a bunch of books. So if I don't know if you've seen our shelves of books. We have a bunch of books on the shelf that we buy, and we have it by our nightstands. 20
books probably on each side.
And a lot of times, or there's just times in which at the TV, we cut TV off sometimes. We just reading books, something like that, or if we're just relaxing reading books, and take the time out, just take time to read, and just kind of stop and pause to take some time just to read and really kind of center yourselves like that, because we already do our private Bible studies and stuff like that, or private word, but when you just have a reading of just a book that you just leisurely reading, it's a good thing. So
And we've done some reading like the same book, or we'll read the same book,
right,
and share. That's kind of fun too.
and the kids
Like
love
your
it.
own little personal book club.
Personal book club.
Yeah, so we all read and we just share. Yeah, it's really fun.
You hear that, folks? Reading is fun, right? And reading beyond Facebook. That can't be the only book that you read. All right. No disrespect to Facebook. We love Facebook. We're all on Facebook. But pick up a real book, particularly one named The Monster in the Room.
There we go. I love that transition. Look at this guy, man. Look, he said, particularly the one behind me right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I picked 5 minutes a day because literally reading 5 minutes a day will make you a smarter person.
Wow. Look at that. Drop
So
some
if you're
knowledge.
not smart, you can get there.
Small increments
5
per
minutes a
day.
day.
5 minutes a day. I love that.
And this is 5 minutes of non-Facebook reading, right? Like
There you
pick
go.
up an actual book, particularly a book named The Monster in the Room. I also
Man,
learned that if you say things 3 times, it sticks. So Roderick, you put the commercial break out there. I've just done it twice. That's the 3 times. Y'all
Hey.
saw the website at the bottom. Go ahead.
yeah,
purchase
gotta
that
pause
book.
to pay some bills real quick. Pay some. We got a sponsor right there behind you. We gotta pause for station identification real quick. There we go.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Now, another thing we want to I don't know how you transition off reading, but we're gonna do it. Hopefully this is smooth. We're gonna go back to your survey question responses, because everyone put in their top 3 attributes when it comes to a healthy, strong, loving relationship. And all those attributes, in my opinion, are important. But when you start to stack rank them and prioritize them, everyone's top 3 tends to get a little bit different. So, Quina, you're going to read which one first, Rod's or Rosa's?
Rosa.
Read Rosa's and get Roderick's response, and then we'll do vice versa.
Okay. So Rosa's was honesty, trust, and humor. That sound about right?
That is very accurate. Yes.
What stands out to you about those 3, Roderick?
What stands out about them is, I think the first one and the last one as well. I think that I know that for you to just to embark in the marriage journey, it takes, number one, trusting to do that anyway. You're giving your heart away to somebody. It's a big trust thing to have your heart be handed to somebody, and somebody to do that, vice versa. I think honesty sticks out a lot, because I think a lot of times it's challenging to, in marriage and especially in relationships, to be that, especially when you're talking about being, and when you're being vulnerable, or on the issue of when you feel like if you feel like there's an issue of like you're feeling shameful about something, or if you just feel like this, like you're weak about the situation, it's hard to be honest. But but again, trusting and give your heart to somebody, being able to give your heart to somebody and share with somebody, it's going to take that type of courage to do that. And I think that sticks out a lot, because again, like I was telling you about the whole bravado thing, I wasn't being honest with myself at that time about that. I mean, in a lot, and I think throughout even the early parts of our marriage, that was a lot of things that I had to fight up against myself with that, about being honest about myself, who I was, and stuff like that, in regards to that. Like, hey, am I being honest enough about, like, all right, I ain't got the money to buy those new Air Jordans. Let me just pretend like I got the money, like I'm stacking all this money, stuff like that. And I'm up here, I didn't get into how many cars I had to go to. So I was overcompensating with trying to, okay, if I ain't got the shoes, but I'm gonna get this nice car though. I was telling my men's Bible study about that. I got this white pearl Acura TL. Man, I thought it was 4-door with the tan seats. Whew.
Leather.
Bose speakers and this like that. I'm driving this thing around because I'm trying to be good when I pick her up. I mean, I was again trying to overcompensate, for being honest. Like, man, look, I should kept that Ford Explorer I had. That was a red one. She kept that point. I gotta get that Acura TL because I wanted to look smooth.
No, we're glad you got the Acura.
Yeah, I'm glad I got it in the long run, but for me, all that was just it was all bravado and stuff like that. It was all just this, what in my mind, thinking that I had to be in all this, and the same goes for like a lot of stuff that I've done in life. It's just like, I was honest with myself about a lot of stuff, even with just like, knowing she came from a background of a big family, and I came from this family was very small. You know, majority of my family's in the South. I have my mom and sisters up here, and my uncle, and that's it. My cousins, that's about it. So I didn't come from a big family, so I'm just used to just doing things one track way. So honesty plays, you know, and I wasn't honest about that a lot of the time with that. I was always trying to be acting like, oh, I'm so important doing this work and doing stuff like that. When I just like, you know, my wife, not knowing what my wife needed from me and what she was actually what she was actually wanting to have to make this thing, you know, to make it feel like, okay, it's something that she's feeling heard about. So I mean, it, you know, I wish that I would tell my younger self that now, but that's the truth. And then I think humor sticks out because I think you have to laugh at not only yourself, but laugh with your partner. I think that's the key. I think that a lot of times, and even now, what I'm finding now is, you know, my wife has always been comedic, you know, but she's, you know, she's funny AF now more than ever than she ever was now. I mean, years before I was just, you know, because I was all in my head about a lot of stuff. I just didn't really take time out to just be hearing the jokes that this woman be saying. But she makes me laugh a lot. And I think, you know, I hope likewise I do the same for her. But a lot of times it's like that laughter is important. Like I could be having a very rough day at work. I could be telling her what's going on. I could be at school. It's not a lockdown again. And she might say a joke that just is like, okay, like what? The school's on lockdown right now. You talking about something else right now. And so it's like, you know, but it's not, it breaks the ice of the anxiety of feeling like, okay, it has to be serious all the time. It's, you know, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to laugh if something happens. And so I those two things do stick out to me the most. I think that the trust is, you know, again, it's a given because you when you embark on the territory of marriage, I will pray that you know the trust in the person that you're giving your heart to, not just going there. But you know, these days in marriage, I don't know. I'm just gonna say, you know, but I would just hope that that's already a given because you're giving your heart to somebody to say that you want to spend the rest of your life with them. So
Yeah.
For the record, I did pray when you were in the lockdown first before I made it.
I'm not saying you didn't pray. I'm just saying that, you know, you were right spot on with my anxiety, and it brought my anxiety down at the time. So that was necessary. Sometimes it's just, you know, it's needed. Comedy's needed, and I needed it.
Mhm.
I needed to hide it on my desk. I needed it. Need to laugh. It's gonna be okay. Look, I know. My wife
Well,
said it. Give me focus. I'm fine. We're not the
well,
news. Good.
well, Roderick, yours was so it was the honesty, loyalty, and trust.
What sticks out?
They're the host.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We still-
No, exactly. What sticks out? He got it.
You got it,
Um,
Rosa.
well,
For the record, before you go into it, it looked like you were simmering on what stuck out before you answered. So we were just giving you your time. Proceed.
I think I was simmering because I'm really glad that two of our top three are the same, because I was actually not really nervous, isn't the right word, but I did feel some sort of kind of way answering this question, because if it comes out that our top three are strikingly different, then that's more work that we have to do. But the fact that honesty was both of our top, I love that. The fact that trust is there for both of us, I think is great. And loyalty, I totally understand why loyalty is a top three for him. And you know, he got to know I ain't going nowhere, baby. I ain't going nowhere. So you know, loyalty is I mean, I'm glad that that's your top three, but and it should be. I mean, I think kind of your same answer, what you said about trust, is like, if you're gonna marry somebody, for sure, loyalty should be that one. But even with it being a given, sometimes you have to do a little bit more work to secure that for your spouse, because that loyalty may look different. So you have to make sure that you're conveying that what that loyalty is, and in different spaces. So it might not just be like loyalty in the sense of like, it's the two people in this marriage and those are the only two people in this marriage, but also just loyalty in, you know, being supportive in what that other person is doing, things that they're going after in life, that they can trust you're going to still support them if that changes, if it grows, or if there are some hindrances. you know that you're not going to switch up. So I think that that's a great one. I support that mission 100%. I like the loyalty.
And so you said something, Rosa, there that stuck out in terms of uh, sort of an apprehension around whether or not those top three would differ between the two of you. And one thing that I would point out, because we have had couples on with literally six different, attributes as their collective top threes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's not necessarily, oh, this is a indicator that we've got work to do, because those are just the priorities of that person, right? So
Mm,
if you liken it to, we all have our different love languages,
Hmm.
whether
Mhm.
that's, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, touch. I'm missing. I always miss one. I can't remember what the fifth one is, but you get what I'm saying. There's always different
Quality time.
quality time. Thank you. There's
Yep.
always different love languages, and that's how we communicate love to one another or from one another. These top priorities are sort of that fuel of that vehicle of transferring love. So if it's a situation where any of Roderick's top three were a shock to you, or maybe a aha moment, another aha moment, then it would be a good opportunity for you to, put that in your memory bank and say, okay, these are areas in which I can really make sure that I'm showing up for him, because that's what he, prioritizes as love. And again, I think all of the attributes that anyone could pick from are important. I don't think anyone would say, trust, you don't really need that. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna say, I can get through a whole entire relationship without this person making me laugh or me making them laugh. We don't have to smile at all in this relationship. That's overrated. Like, no one's gonna say that about any of these attributes. But I do think that, um, if you find yourself in a situation where sitting across from, Queen and I, reading those off, and they come as a surprise, I think that there's value in that as well. But to your point, the fact that two out of the three between the two of you matched is really strong. And you also touched on the fact that there's nuance even within those attributes. What honesty may mean to Roderick may not necessarily mean the exact same thing as Rosa, or what loyalty, how we actually define or show up and be loyal to one another, may seem different between the two of us. So, um, love is one of these nuanced things. So these puzzle pieces, I tell you, they could
Hmm.
be jigsaw, they could be a Rubik's cube at times, maybe even a crossword. Hey,
Hey.
crossword puzzle. Uh, but no,
Yes.
that's lovely. I think we're going to take just another quick break because we got some fun questions for you guys, and I know we got a little bit serious. We had fun, but
Yeah. Well,
we touched on some serious topics. Now it's time to get a little silly. But before we do that, we got more music. Roderick, you sort of helped me with this one, because you didn't pick a particular song. You said as long as it was D'Angelo or Maxwell, you were good with it. So I figured I'd pick a classic, and it's Ascension by Maxwell. so we're back, and yeah, we have fun questions, but we're gonna put those on pause for a second because during the break, we've learned some things that probably should have been shared in our very first segment in regards to what happened after this Ali date.
We
Because
had
It wasn't really a date, though.
per person.
that's right, it wasn't really it was a
No,
it wasn't
official.
officially a date. All right, I'll shut up. You guys go ahead and fill us in.
And then take us till now. What's going on now?
Well, what was so the question, I will just back us up to the question that was posed was if he had asked me directly for a date, would I have said yes and agreed to go on the date? And my answer was no. I would not have agreed to go on the date because he had a girlfriend at the time.
Bum bum bum.
Go on, please.
That apparently ghosted him. But the point is, I didn't know that. And that is not information that I had. Every time I came to work, all I heard was about her and how amazing and how great she was. And it was a beautiful life. I thought maybe that was supposed to be his wife. I don't know.
Wow.
So I would have said no. And so the hand holding was a little awkward. And that's when he told me, because I was like, we're going to hold hands and you have a girlfriend. And he said, we broke up. So that's why I allowed the rest of the night to go the way that it did in the following day at the basketball game, because I believed him when he said they had broken up. And so that was fine anyway. But however, what I also said was I was dating at the time. I was not in a committed relationship, but there was some misunderstandings between us. And so we didn't actually officially start dating as an official couple until a year after that Ali date. So we were just friends for like an entire year. And I dated some more. And he had lots of fun study partners to late nights.
That doesn't sound at all right to say that like that. Like you know, that doesn't sound at all correct in what you're saying about that.
You didn't have female study
partners. That
partners?
makes me look like I'm out here out here at midnight doing some stuff I shouldn't be doing. You just put me on blast like that.
Go ahead and clear it up. If you want to.
First of all, let's just be clear with that she was transferring from the University of Washington. She went to school in California. And so I'm, I came to her house and that before she left for college, and I was talking about how much I was gonna miss her, stuff like that. And we did have a good exchange. She gave me a card that I still have to this day. And so I was like, okay, this is good friendships like that. And we established a good friendship, long distance. She did date, which is, again, I understandably so. Look, she's a beautiful woman. She's going to date. I understand that. She wants to say I did have female friends in college. And number one, let's remember the time period. I didn't have laptops back then. So I was an older guard at University of Washington till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock studying with also probably 150 other students in the same time, what I had a class with as well too. So yeah, but I was not there doing anything I was not there like that. So let's put that on the record. Yeah, I have female friends, but I wasn't like that. We used to talk all the time. We used to email all the time as well too. And we used to always write letters to each other all the time as well. So I was keen in on keeping my friendship with her, number one, because we established that long distance like that. And it's long distance. And so you don't know how that's gonna go. And we understood that. And so, when we kept that going, the first time she came back in town from her break, I was, we hung out and everything like that. And that's when we started, making it very serious for ourselves, because it was like, but at the same time, yeah, we had our dates like that and people, but I was in school. I was at this time, I'm also, I was the son in a single parent household. So I was working, going to school. This is the pattern every day.
But
no time for dates. I didn't have time for dates.
You didn't have time for me too, because what you should also mention is after that first summer, after our freshman year, when I said I would like us to start dating, and you said you'd rather be friends.
I did.
And you almost let Chadwick Boseman be my husband.
See, now you're adding so you make sure. So we're gonna pump this Chadwick Boseman story up. I don't mind with that. That's fine. I'll let that. Yes, I did say that. I didn't rush into a relationship. Again, I wasn't ready for a relationship at the time. And again, I was fairly new to this. She talks about this girlfriend that I had, and I was bragging about her and my future wife. I mean, I went on like 2 dates with this girl.
But I'm just saying, I didn't have that view of it.
I get it, and I understand
You didn't share it with me
but
that way.
But when we got into our serious in our conversations, I really seriously explained this to you over and over again. And there's people that you thought I was dating were not people I dated. She's my first serious relationship, and I can't stress this enough. The first serious relationship I was with, the person I was with, and I ended up marrying this person. So I mean, a lot of this was just like,
You're welcome.
Hey, thank God, thank you, Lord. So I'm just saying these are the things that came up like that. So I mean, there's a lot trying to, and a lot of it's long distance, and so we went through a lot. I mean,
Yeah, but
2.5 years ago.
That hurt. That was hurtful. That was a whole summer. I was not dating anybody else, and it made sense. We were literally together every day from like sun up till sundown, on phone or in person, the entire summer. And at the end of the summer, before I went back to school with all of the other opposite sex 2 states away, I said I wanted for us to date. So I technically asked you to be my boyfriend. You technically rejected that.
And I was not
for
ready.
My life.
And also in this process too, that I made it, that sorry to hurt you like that, but at the same time, I wasn't dating nobody. So it wasn't like I was going out there saying I don't be friends with you and go out and date other girls. I wasn't doing that. And so, I mean, the Lord worked it out to where we made it work. It strengthened our communication also at the same time when we were long distance like that. And so, yeah, I mean, but it wasn't, again, it was a lot of it out of a lot of it out of apprehension, a lot of it was new for me too. And I mean, if I could talk to my younger self about that, things would be different. But I didn't, I'm learning how this stuff works. I'm learning, and I'm not gonna be afraid to say that. I mean, you're learning how things go. Relationships are something I'm like, this is new for me. And I didn't have the best of advice from a lot of males in my life to kind of guide me and like, what is it supposed to navigate this stuff? So I mean, that was more of a retreat for me to say, to say that. But I still kept in contact with her the whole time. I wasn't out there dating girls like that. I wasn't doing all this like that. I mean, I had other things I was doing at the time. Like I was, preparing for ministry and stuff like that, and all this other stuff I was doing. And so I was always focused. So I wasn't out there dating other girls. And it was like, we still talked all the time. And so.
No, he told me I was a heathen. I needed to get my life right before he could date me in real life. You did.
Okay, so and I want to touch on you touched on ministry, you touched on a few things, and we want to get there because we want to learn a little bit more about Rosa and Roderick today. But talk us through you kind of changing your mind, so to speak, Roderick, because it sounded like Rosa was ready to be exclusive before you. So, when did you make? Not that you made the decision for you two to date, like it was up to you, but obviously you had to change your heart at some point. So
it was a lot of prayer. It was about prayer and a lot of at the time, it was some good guidance I had at the time finally came around to prayer, and it's really praying about it. I prayed one night. I just said, God, just please reveal to me if this is going to be the woman that you want me to be with. And after I got done praying, off my knees and stuff praying, the phone rang. It was her. And, so that was the first time. I prayed it again 2 more times, and it happened again each time. And so I knew then it was confirmation for me that she's going to be my wife at the time. I mean, I prayed this prayer. I asked God to really reveal to me. And each time, the 3 times I prayed, the phone rang each time. It was her. And so I knew then, and that for me was just about setting in motion what we're going to do. And I think at that time I was already, I had an idea here, talked about the relationships, like talked about what we want to do. And I talked to, what ring she wanted to have and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I wanted to make sure I got this ring right. And went to the right place. I went to Jared's, plug for Jared's, pay some bills, plug for Jared's, went to Jared's and make sure I got this ring and stuff like that.
He did a great job.
And got the right ring because I wanted to get the ring that was special for her. And the beauty of it is that I know she was wanting the ring because she always put this fake little diamond ring on that she would buy from, I think, from Claire's.
Blast.
That's why, I mean, I got blasted talking about heathens, also heathens now, but talking about heathens still. Anyways, and the cute thing about it was she would put on her finger where the ring, actually that ring would go, and that was always a signal point of what she was looking for. but also at the same time, I mean, it makes, I mean, we were together for that time for a period of time now. And so, you know, I made sure that I wanted to make that night special in December when I proposed to her. Taking her to the movies at the old Renton Village 8 theater. You remember those days, Renton Village 8 theater, you know, had my mom's red Ford Taurus, asked to borrow her car that night. I was excited, just like that. I had this ring in my pocket the whole time, just burning a hole in my pocket. Like, I can't wait to give it to her, can't wait to give it to her. And so it was an exciting night. I had my little, back then we would, you know, for the young people out there, we had to create the little tapes with the little songs on it. We had R&B songs, and I was playing Joe. Plug that. So my name, the album, My Name Is Joe. Just with everybody, that album's a good album. Y'all do, I looked it up. My Name Is Joe. Play that album with that tape in that Ford Taurus, and took her to the movies like that. The movie we seen that night was Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell. That was a movie, and we watched the movie together, and like that. And after the film, took her to, we parked in this. I remember where I parked that too, because I still, when I go to that building next door, sometimes I park in that same spot still. Parked the car right there, came out, it was raining, start to rain, came on the side of the car, opened the door for her, and I got on one knee.
In the puddle and everything.
In a puddle in the rain. And I told her, I asked her, if you can remove that ring that you have on you out the way, please. And I said, will you marry me? And I already, a week prior to that, went to her parents and talked to her parents about it. They were so excited. They didn't spoil it for me. You know, her mom and dad, I came in, I never forget, they were in their bedroom. I came in, they were like, what do you want? And I told them I want to do this, and they were so excited. I said, I would love to take your daughter's hand in marriage, and I would love to propose to her. And they got excited, and I was able to say what I was going to do, and I proposed to her that night. It was a rainy day, got on one knee, but it was a beautiful night. And I drove her home, and I remember she called her other friend, the best friend up in California, and talking about it. And she was looking at her ring, looking at it in her hands, like that. It was a beautiful night. But yeah,
it was.
I made sure that I wanted to make it special. But at the same time, I mean, I know it was, I mean, I wanted to make sure the ring was right, because I know that we went through a lot. We went through a lot. I mean, going through the distance, going through ups and downs like that. Yeah, you know, my indecisiveness is as a knucklehead young man, but at the same time, just everything that we went through. And I want to make sure I got that perfect. The ring was right. And I'm glad that was, you know, the ring was perfect and stuff like that. But it worked out. And so greatest decision ever made, second to accepting Jesus Christ as my savior.
Amen.
Okay, great segue, Roderick. Oh my goodness, couldn't have scripted this any better. So let's fast forward now, because you are heavily involved in, I'll let you speak on it, but you are heavily involved in ministry. Talk about how you navigate being a shepherd of a flock as well as being the head of a household.
Man, I don't know. Tell me when I can figure that out. I don't know. No, I'm senior pastor of Life Point Church in Renton, Washington, Fairwood. Say Fairwood's a suburb of Renton, but yeah, in Renton, Washington. I've been the pastor there since November 2019. November 1st to be exact. It was the pastor, and I got installed on December 1st, 2019. And we've been there since, and we have endured a lot. Shepherding is you know, it's definitely something that you need somebody with to do it. And I'm glad my wife is with me doing it, because I will probably go stir crazy. It's different, but I think that doing it together, she helps kind of wrangle me in on a lot of things. It really helped me shepherd the people in a way that if I don't see it, she catches my blind spots in a lot of areas. Okay. She's done saved me in a lot of areas, because, you know, as a new pastor, you can make some decisions that can definitely cost your ministry, but I'm learning that this is part of it. But also at the same time, loving the people. The balance is I'm learning still how to balance it out still. I think that I'm learning that that I need to know when to cut the line off when I'm home about ministry, when to be able to be home for my wife and for the kids, and to also to balance up. I have a full-time job as a school counselor. That's also tough. So these things are balancing out, and try to figure out how to shape these things around. So there's been, Rosa knows, in the times when Joshua was little and I was in ministry during the time and I had to preach, when they go to sleep, I'm probably up working, doing sermon work, and I have a bunch of books on the table. I have lights on. I don't get to bed till 1 or 2 o'clock because I'm working on sermons like that. pastoring now, I've learned to kind of balance those things out now. I've been in ministry now 17 and a half years now. So learning to balance those out. But I think that there's no way I cannot do this by myself. I think she's been very helpful and instrumental in helping me do things, but it's just been helpful. I mean, it's a learning process that I'm learning about every day, and I'm still learning it every day. I have not figured out. I think every pastor if they're bivocational, meaning that they're just doing other things besides pastoring as well too, on top of that, will tell you that it's a hard line to balance. But I'm learning. I don't know how my wife does what she does and all the stuff she does, because I think she has way more has knife carries like that. But she's doing, I mean, for me, it's just I'm learning, and I'm learning that she's helping me she's helped support me in areas to help me kind of lighten the load. I'm praying I'm doing the same for her and some of the stuff she got going on, because she's doing a boatload of things on top of that. But I think it's helpful. The congregation is very loving, and they're very helpful and supportive. But at the same time, it's just something I'm learning each day. So I praise God for that.
Amen.
Would you look at me?
Because I think we have a third member of the hosting of Puzzle of Love. Like, Rod is killing it with these segues. Because on the other side, we've got a mother, an author, a first lady, an
Keep going.
entrepreneur. Like, Rosa, can you talk?
Photographer.
Photographer? Yeah. What else? What else? I mean,
Just stop there.
Evangelist,
evangelist. So many
pop-
titles. I
What
mean,
else?
we've got Christian Couple Cafe. I mean, there's
Counselor, mental health support. I mean, what else? I mean,
yeah.
everything.
Rod
How-
said you're balancing a lot. So, I mean, what makes up your 24 hours of a day?
My goodness, schedules. I schedule my life to the T. I schedule my kids' lives, and I schedule this guy's life. Lots of calendars, lots of things written down. We schedule in fun. We schedule in quality time. Like, we make a point for everything to be accounted for, so that we really don't waste any minute of the day frivolously. And I think, as he was speaking, it goes back to one of his 3 words, which was loyalty. And the way it works is, I'm loyal. So when he has something going on, I support that, and I show up, and I do the things that I need to do to make that easier for him. On the flip side, he does the same thing on this end. So it makes it super easy for me to do all these things, because if I have a Bible study, he's taking care of dinner. If I have a pop-up shop, he's taking care of the kids. If I'm behind on chores, he's coming up and doing the chores that I left undone. So that way I don't ever feel like I'm overwhelmed, because we all just kind of fill up the buckets that are empty when we need to fill them up. And that's something too we talk about. I know I might be jumping ahead, but with Christian Couples Cafe, one of the big things that we teach is, if you literally just take care of your spouse, and your focus is taking care of their every need, and their focus is taking care of your every need, you really don't have to worry about taking care of yourself. So it's all said and done for you. So if I spend my time focusing on him and making sure I fill the box, because if you're trying to do it for yourself and then you think you still have to give into somebody else, that's exhausting just to think about, let alone execute. But if you're just focused on taking care of your spouse, period, everything they need, want, desire, and that would make their life easier, just get it done. And if I know he's doing, like, I don't even have to think or ask, I know he's doing that for me. So everything that I need to do that's kind of self-focused, I'm never pressed about it, because I know I can just let go of that rope, and he's going to catch it on the other side.
Fantastic. Babe, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's wonderful. I think when I've talked to other couples and things like that, I definitely have said something on the same lines of, if I take care of my spouse and my spouse is thinking and taking care of me, then we're all taken care of. And so that's something that I truly believe in. And when you get married, it's not about, it's not about yourself. It's about taking care of your household. And if everyone's doing that, then there's nothing lacking. So I think that's awesome.
So, quick recap: we've got Christian Couple Cafe. I'm trying to figure out all the things I need to plug down below. So you guys are gonna have to give me all this contact information. Life Point,
Yep. Life Point Church.
Life Point Church. Rosie
Coley Bee.
Oh,
Coley Bee.
Mm-hmm.
Under the Rosie Colely Bee is the umbrella of author, photography, event planning, seamstress.
Yeah, I actually split up my book stuff with the event stuff. So my RCB event is my other website
She got two websites,
for
man.
events.
Two.
Okay. So I'll get all that information and display it here at the bottom. You guys, please support Black entrepreneurship, Black love,
Amen.
servitude. As you heard, this man, even on his 9 to 5, is a man of service, counseling these young people. So he's even a shepherd. When he's getting paid, to do it 9 to 5. That's amazing. All right, so that's the paperwork. Let's get to the fun stuff. We just
All right.
wanted to clarify because we were like, wait, what? During the break, like, y'all didn't bring that up at all. Like, this has to be transparent here. We got
That's
some fun
a-
questions.
and just wanted to know your story, your recent story, or the stuff in between, because like you mentioned, you're a mother, so you guys have how many
2
kiddos?
both.
2 kiddos.
When's the third coming?
Stop. I mean, the third time I heard that this month, you guys got to really give me a break here.
I mean, I would like that if you went ahead.
I can't even do that. I can't even do that.
No, it's fine. You just let go of that rope, and Rod's gonna kick right back up. So.
Whoo!
Lord mercy.
2 and through.
2 and 3.
Boy and a girl.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think I've said this a few times. If we had one of each the first go around, I probably would have been cool with being done.
I don't know.
I don't know that we would have been done.
Another baby.
We would have
soon.
been, yeah. Because we always wanted 3, but that balance, man, that's something that we're over here envious. We've got nothing but testosterone over here, like
That's
nothing.
it.
But no, let's get into the fun stuff because it's fun. Let's get silly. If you two went on a double date with a celebrity couple, which celebrity couple would you pick? And this is individual answer, so you don't have to deliberate. You can have 2 separate answers if you want.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
That was easy. Ditto.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
And why?
This is for the record. She gets a lot of comparisons to Beyonce, and a lot of times when we go out and hang out, stuff like that, we just dress like we go out dressing like how we dress like it, and then the photos we take are just amazing photos. Sorry, just amazing photos.
We just think they're pretty great.
We're pretty. We take.
We just want to be them.
We take pretty great photos. We inspire that. We inspire their swag and stuff like that, how they handle stuff. Now Jay-Z's hairstyle, this new hairstyle he's with, I'm not there in that position right now with the hair, but hey, I love the style and just the way it's just something about the style they have with that. And I think we carry that style a lot. So that double day would be lit.
I would be interested to see if they have humor like in real life. Like,
Right.
you see the videos and stuff like that. I think they would actually be pretty hilarious. We already know we have the same taste in music and same taste in style. And our daughters are close in age. It's a win.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like best friends for life. Let's do it.
That's not a bad choice. Not a bad choice.
Jay and Bay 2.0.
Yep.
There you go. On the run tour at Christian cafes, Christian couple cafes.
Yeah,
there you
on the
go.
run to CVS for an IUD because you guys keep trying to give us a third kid.
All right. Okay, so next question. Grits. Do you like them with butter and salt and pepper or butter and sugar?
Butter, salt, and pepper for me.
First of all, polenta
Polenta. Yeah.
with cheese,
Woo, that
kosher
sounds good.
salt, cracked pepper, and butter.
Yeah, that's I
There's
can.
literally no other way.
That's actually, she got me on polentas now. So yeah, that's good. Yeah.
If you're not doing it this way, I feel sorry for your life.
I've never heard of polenta.
It's a grit. Polenta's a grit. It's like a grit.
It's organic yellow grits.
Organic yellow grits.
Okay. See, I'm not ashamed. When I don't know something, I don't know something.
I like how you segued into that too. You're just like, let me bring it back.
Yeah, polenta. Okay, so
Yeah, she got me on.
You can buy it in Bob's Red Mill in the organic section, and or you can cook it just like grits, and or you can hit up Trader Joe's frozen aisle, and even the frozen version is still pretty legit.
It's bomb. It's pretty good.
and once you cook it, you put what?
Butter,
Mhm.
cheese,
Mhm.
salt, kosher salt,
Okay.
and pepper.
It's bomb.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bomb.
I didn't hear any sugar come out of either one of your mouths.
Oh no.
My kids don't eat it with sugar.
We don't eat it with. Yeah, I don't even eat it with sugar. No thanks.
I don't know, you keep looking. this
I'm
way.
just waiting for you to have something to say.
Come on, Lena.
Everyone knows where I stand.
Yeah.
They know that I want sugar and butter. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's.
Everyone knows that.
Mm.
All the listeners that have listened prior know that that's the only way to go, and that's the way they should go.
Listen, we're picking up new followers and new listeners every episode. This might be the first time people are learning that you're a loner and you're the only one on this panel that eats grits in such a blasphemous way.
Seriously.
You admit this in front of the man of God. Like, why would you do this? You could at least put on for show. As soon as he said salt and pepper, you could have said, you know what? I agree,
And
Pastor.
follow after.
I agree with you. Amen, Pastor.
She wants to live her truth, man. I didn't want her, she didn't want to do lies. It makes sense.
No, it's an ongoing question we ask all of the couples to settle our internal.
And I'm winning, so
The tally is below. Okay. I guarantee you're not winning. I've definitely heard more salt and pepper than sugar.
because people haven't found the right way.
To level the playing field, I used to eat it with sugar,
See,
and I don't any longer.
and how long did you used to do that?
It's been probably 15 years since.
No, how long did you eat it that way though?
I mean, I was a kid because it's like
Up until when?
Say it again. No, don't cut her out. It's what?
Hold on, wait. So
Baby
how long did
It's baby food.
No,
Ooh,
it's not baby food.
she called you childish.
It's not
When I
baby
was young, I did childish things.
It's not baby food. It's delicious.
Gerber. This Gerber out of here. That's what I'm gonna start calling it from now on. Who eats Gerber? There's either
Whatever.
grits or Gerber. Those are your two options.
That's rude. I don't understand. Like, how long you ate it up until you got married?
Really having it.
No, I don't think I ever ate sugar. I ate
No.
grits. No, yeah, no.
I'd be
I don't know. Probably college-ish. You know, when you grow up a little bit and then you realize.
Okay, you still just throwing shots like that? Okay.
Just
So
transition.
half your life, I mean, you ate it with butter and sugar.
No, real talk. It was good. It was
No.
it was great. And then I,
Awesome.
matured my palate.
And you
And
changed because your husband doesn't eat it like
okay.
Your Honor, she's leading the witness.
that.
I object.
I mean, it's okay. You do things sometimes.
It's okay. Like,
I mean, it's fine.
You
Yes,
know,
I was okay.
it's fine.
She's converted over.
and
Let me-
okay, I'll give you that. We'll find if
So she's half a
anyone
point.
will find.
She's half.
She's not a half a point.
sugar, half-
She gave her answer. Do not change her answer.
Half
But
salt
what
and
we will
pepper.
do is we will preface and find any person Hence now, as long as this is one of our fun questions, we will see if there's anybody who was once salt and pepper and got converted to Gerber.
That's impossible.
I have no reason to disagree with that statement.
I'm gonna try it one time. I really am.
Or
I'm gonna try it. I doubt if I'm gonna like it. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see what you're talking about. Just to see what the hype is about.
You also eat sugar on your rice, but we'll move on to another. Yeah, we'll also move.
Kalina, what God has done for others, He will do for you. Just let the Lord use you.
First of all,
I'm
okay.
just
So
saying,
do you guys eat
you're
cream of
just-
wheat at all? I don't really eat cream of wheat now, but I used to when I was a kid. Do you guys eat that?
Yeah, that's
Jeez, I don't-
cereal, and I'm gonna eat that with sugar because it's cereal.
But so is grits.
Mm-mm.
Grits is cereal.
Grits is a hearty
It's a cereal. Grits is
at
Google it.
breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
No one eats grits at lunch unless they're eating shrimp and
also
grits.
Grits. Well, I don't eat seafood, but I eat eggplant.
She's not even you can't even. You don't count. You don't eat seafood either.
No, don't disregard that. You're not being a good hostess right now. Okay,
We're
this is a
having this
guest.
discussion.
They may want to come back. This is an open invitation. This is a puzzle of love, not a
This
puzzle of
is.
hate.
Okay.
So stop hating.
You just called me Gerber.
I'm just
Offensive.
that was a rightful assessment. She said baby food.
Okay.
When you say
So-
baby food, what do you think of?
I think of jars of food.
Of
Not sweet. Not necessarily sweet. Peas are not sweet.
Peas are like
Green beans
sweetest
are not sweet.
vegetable.
But it's not considered. It's not a sweet. It's not like eating a banana.
I don't want to yuck your yum, Lena. I think if you want to have
You want to yuck my yum.
sugar,
That's him. He's got us arguing because he wants to throw stuff out there like Gerber. I just don't understand.
She called it baby food.
Yeah, but you didn't. Nobody really heard her. But you
That's
had to
not
bring it-
true. She said it twice.
She said it silently.
She said it twice.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on. We've gotten our answers. The tally was already on the screen. They see that salt and pepper is leading. Next question. You guys have to pick one. Okay, you guys got 3 choices. A quickie every day. B, good sex twice a week. Or C, amazing sex once a week.
D, all of the above.
That's not an answer.
Oh,
Not an answer. It's only 3.
She's brought my
Are you
confidence.
sure?
B and C.
She's made my confidence level go way up. So that's hey, you know what?
A, B, and C. Or C.
I was gonna say I was about to do the same thing she did, but she took the letter right out my mouth. I didn't want to be that guy to jump right in there first. I let her did, she did it. So
what kind of test doesn't have all of the above? This test
No,
is
there's none.
this ain't the SAT test, man.
It doesn't say it. No.
So we have to
Yep.
choose one.
You have to choose
A,
one.
B, or C.
A, B, or C.
this is a setup. This feels like when you're coerced
Oh my
in
gosh.
the precinct and they make you sign something you don't agree to.
Never been to one, so I'm not sure.
Okay, Sam again.
I'll say
All of it. Is that an answer? Okay.
for
Shoot.
the fairness of the question, I would say B.
Okay.
I'm not good at tests. I feel like I'm still gonna get the answer.
It's not a
wrong.
test. There's no wrong answer.
wrong.
It's just a matter of preference.
Let's go ahead and choose one.
D. Okay, say what's the last one? Once a
Okay.
month.
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. Amazing.
twice a week.
So A is a quickie every day. B
Every day.
is good sex twice a week. And C is amazing sex once a week.
When we say quickie, we mean like 5 minutes. Real quick.
I'm perspiring. This is a hard test.
Oh Lord.
B and a half.
No, it's one.
Nope.
Circle. It's a bubble.
Scantron sheet. Remember those? Got to fill in one of those Scantrons.
Anyone doesn't seem fair. confused.
Yeah, you have to give up something to get something.
Feels like a ruined life. Which one did you say?
I said B.
Okay, B.
You can't just pick what he picked. Which one would you pick?
I'm gonna pick what he picks because then that means it's gonna be great if we both want the same thing. If I pick something different, then I'm setting myself up for failure here.
I'm
that
not
what you-
leading the witness. I'm just.
Is
You
that
said-
what you would prefer?
Hey, we'll just say all the above. So if you choose a different one, it's like all the above for both of us. So don't worry.
Okay,
There you go.
Hold on. So in real life, we would pick D, all of the above.
Right.
But because we can't pick D, even though it's not a test, but it's a test, we gotta pick something different than D.
Yes.
Okay.
We can still hear you.
Oh, sorry. I thought we had a sidebar. B, final answer.
All right. Now, why?
Because I can't pick D.
Because we got. Yeah, that's a great answer because we can't pick. There's no other option but that one. And we give, and we give ourselves some time to breathe in between. There you go. So you got the B, and also too, I don't know, just quickies are not something to just do every day. Like, it's just you gotta have that time, you got that moment, just that, this is an intimate time.
Yes, Lord.
And it's not something I want. Sometimes you just don't want to rush. There's time you don't want to rush that intimate time like that. I just feel like that's just a rush job a lot of times with that. So, I mean, I know for times quickies for a lot of married couples, just that happens. But I mean, I couldn't see me doing that 5 to 7 days a week on a. I'd rather just go ahead and just, since we ain't got D as an option, we'll just go to B and say you got the 2 twice a week with a little bit of,
Well, yeah, because a quickie every day, you
just
lose
seems
a
real,
lot
yeah.
of extra curriculars.
Mhm.
So that doesn't seem right. And then plus, like every day, like, do you really have, like, I don't know, that just doesn't seem accurate. And then twice, and then once a week, amazing. Actually might not be a bad answer because if it's amazing, you're probably still thinking about it the next 6 days.
Mhm. Mhm.
and can't wait for the next time you get back together again.
And you can mentally process that, which is still great. But yeah,
Sounds
so
like you're changing your answer.
B.5 literally was my second answer. D was my first answer. Nobody wants me to get this right.
There's no wrong answer.
It's your personal answer.
What is B? Two
Twice a week.
I.
Twice a week.
It's
It's
good.
good.
It's good. It's good. Sex twice a week. Like, these are guarantees. Like, those 2 times a week is gonna be good. That 1 time a week, it's guaranteed it's gonna be amazing. And then you have the choice of quickies every day, which can be good, can be amazing, could be trash. Who knows? That's up to you because you're doing it
This
every day.
question is hurting my feelings.
What?
I think we might. I think we should move on because it's hurting Rosa's feelings.
You sure with your answer, or
Yes,
change it?
my
Okay.
answer is
Then what-
absolutely D.
Yeah,
Even though it's not in the text.
Right,
because it's not a test.
That's
precisely.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did great. 8+.
All right. You gonna list the?
you,
Okay. So you guys, again, there's no wrong answer, but you got to pick one.
Okay.
All right. There's 3 concerts taking place at the exact same time. One is happening at Climate Pledge Arena. The other is happening at Lumen Field, and the other is at T-Mobile Park. So you cannot go to more than one concert. Pick which concert you're going to attend. A.
That's Climate Pledge.
The new key arena.
Oh,
Yeah, I had to list the venues that are dope locally because this is Seattle. Like, if you don't get it and you're listening somewhere outside of Seattle, then Google us. Okay, we got some dope venues. The first concert, A, is Prince, Whitney Houston, Kendrick Lamar, Usher, Nas, and Lauryn Hill.
That's the first concert?
That's the first concert.
I feel like you shouldn't need to say the rest.
No, there's some other ones on here because I ain't heard the rest of them yet.
Please
I
hold your
pre-ordered.
answers
Oh,
until
Yeah.
the end.
See, I
Yeah.
keep getting in trouble. Okay, my
Yeah.
bad.
B. Stevie Wonder, Jay-Z, Beyonce, J. Cole, Kanye, and Rihanna. Or C. Michael Jackson, Biggie Smalls, Drake, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, and Chris Brown.
Easy.
Tell me your answer. You tell what yours is.
You go first.
You know, you said it's easy. Go what you go first.
I'm going. What's the new climate space?
Well,
So
you
you-
get to pick the venue.
Oh,
Yeah. It's just which concert you're going to. I just wanted to list that they're in 3 separate places, so it's physically impossible to go to all 3.
I'm going to the first concert. Like, that's so easy, hands down.
You're going to the Prince, Whitney Houston, Kendrick, Nas, Usher, Lauryn Hill.
Yes, because I literally could sing every one of their songs, and I love every one of those artists. And I would not get bored the entire time. It would be a great time, and they're not too wild and crazy because I don't like extra wild and crazy, where I'm gonna feel like anxiety for being there. It's worth me giving up my agoraphobia to go there.
Where would you do it at? Would you do it outside?
Yeah, which of those 3 venues would make them the best venue?
At Key Arena. Or Climate Pledge.
Well, I mean, I seen Jay-Z at Key Arena, Climate Pledge. That was a great time. I also seen, pretty much every concert there. I don't think I've been to a concert at other places. I don't want to be outside. So Climate Pledge.
Climate Pledge.
am I saying it right?
It's Climate Pledge Arena.
Climate Pledge.
And technically, you haven't been to a Jay-Z concert at Climate Pledge because they renovated. So when it was Key Arena,
Correct.
Yeah, you still.
what it
But
is
I wouldn't
now is
Pick
a
there
huge
anyway, because
facelift.
I heard. Sorry, what?
I said what it is now is a huge facelift compared to what it once was.
I heard it was great. And from what I was told on the inside, I'm actually really excited about going there. I want to check it out. So I will go
Agreed.
there because I haven't been, and it sounds stinking amazing.
Agreed. Roderick, which concert are you going to pick?
What was the B selection again?
B was Stevie Wonder, Jay-Z, Beyonce, J. Cole, Kanye, and Rihanna.
You made this very difficult for me. Because I had never seen Jay-Z perform live, Beyonce perform live. I've never seen that. But I would be honest with you, Kanye's unpredictability scares me these days. And Rihanna, I'm not. There's not songs I know from her. I don't know if I'll be all the way entertained. I would go with. Man, I wish I could take some artists from the first one to the second one to the first one, but I would go with A because I'm a big Prince fan as well too, and I think I'll be thoroughly entertained. I would do that outside because in my mind it's post. Prince is not alive no more, but if he was alive, it'd be post-COVID time. I'll be outside with the air hitting outside like that on a beautiful summer day in late July for this concert because I know Prince would turn it out and he would kill it. I know Nas would as well too, and so yeah, I would look forward to that concert. And who does not want to see Prince sing? And he better sing When Doves Cry, or Purple Rain, or
Diamonds and
it will not be a concert if he does not bust those 2 songs out. So I would say A because B, man, that B roll you had on that B list, man. If you would have switch Rihanna for somebody else or Kanye for somebody else, I'd have been like, okay, I'd have been. Everybody else I had it till you said Kanye and Rihanna.
You could take half that list back.
Yeah, but yes, it's a solid list. That's a hard choose, but I would choose them at Lumen Field.
Lumen Field. We're seeing Prince. Well, who's the opening act? That's what I want to know.
Opening act on that concert. I'm sorry, I love Lauryn Hill, but she has to be the opening act. The rest of them to be the headliners after that. I said it. She gonna be late. She gonna be late getting there. She'll be late getting there. She'll be late, but I mean, she can do her whole album, Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, because nobody knows the other songs after. What else? Somebody name me a song after that, after her new albums. We all know she'll do her whole album in one set, and everybody's come up to their albums after that. So Lauryn Hill can be the opening act in that. No shame in that. She'll get her love. She'll be there on time. Don't get there late.
If I could just figure out how come Migos and
I didn't hear Gucci Mane. I'm not mad about that. I
Jill
love you,
Scott and Jadena aren't at any of these concerts.
They're not in these concerts because we didn't make the list with those people on them. Okay? And I'd just like to point out that you guys have disregarded the fact that Michael and Janet are in the same concert and you decided to go against it. Not that there are wrong answers here, but I have absolutely no problem with expressing where my vote would be going.
We know
those wasn't even discussed.
That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't even talk about it. It's not that
you didn't say. Oh, but you had Michael though. You didn't even say that.
So you put even Jay-Z and Beyonce in there too. So that Group C list, Michael and Janet. You might just say Michael and Janet. Then I would probably just say that. You don't need everybody else.
It's them extra people in there. They ruined it for the whole.
It's a whole concert show.
Nobody's gonna stay.
Who'd you have? T.I.? Did you say T.I. in that list too?
No, I absolutely did not. No disrespect to Tip. You're my guy. You weren't on part of this list. It's not disrespect. There's tons of people who are not on this list, but I'll reread you Concert C just in case you want some clarification. Michael Jackson, Biggie Smalls, Drake, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, Chris Brown.
I can give or take Chris Breezy. I can give or take Mariah Carey. Yeah,
nobody wants Drake.
What makes this list very challenging is that you group a lot of genres together. If you did it by like, hey, this is the trap music list, this is the list right here.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard. That's what makes it challenging.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
So you can't, I feel like I'm getting judged on my decision making on this.
Well, no, I mean, I'm going for age strictly for Whitney. I don't really care to hear anybody else.
She said after Whitney. Yeah, I mean it's hard. I really want Jay-Z and Beyonce, but when I rest that list, I'm like, no, you put me on it.
I've seen Jay-Z and Beyonce, so I'm good. But
see, look, you see,
I don't want to like not come home from the concert, so I don't need to see Beyonce in real life. We're finna be at lunch with them anyway.
No, they were great. They put on a great show.
See,
I believe it. I don't want to be there.
I would love to see him, but I was like, I couldn't do.
I watch him on TV.
I couldn't do the Rihanna and Kanye. Ye's too unpredictable right now.
I'm leaving after Whitney, so I mean.
So is Prince the headliner or is Whitney?
Whitney is the headliner. That's the only.
For her, yeah, for her is Whitney. I would say.
No, Prince. The headliner comes last. They're the last show.
No, I know.
So Whitney's going to be last.
Whitney's going to be the main show.
You honestly think
everybody?
You have to see everybody.
Honestly think that Prince is going to allow anyone to follow him up?
I don't know.
Do you think anyone wants to follow up Prince?
Yes,
Whitney. Last.
No, Prince is last. Babe, no. I'm here to tell you that
not in my concert.
It's like Michael Jackson has to be last. It can't.
This is true.
You can't have
Michael is last.
100%.
Michael Jackson has to be last. Janet, you go before your brother. You're not going after your brother. That's not how that works right now.
Wait, did you say Stevie's in the second one?
Stevie's in the second one.
Stevie's in the second one. Essentially the headliner.
Right? And Beyonce will probably be the headliner in that because it's Beyonce.
You think that Stevie is...
I don't know, over Stevie?
Over Stevie?
Like the headliner in that one. I feel like it's Beyonce and then it's her man and him, and then Beyonce.
Beyonce will light that stage up and then the Stevie come on, man. I'm just saying.
Stevie comes on and he's tearing down everything Beyonce ever learned in her life.
Okay.
He doesn't even have to dance.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't because there's a stage.
He doesn't have to. Yeah, come on now. We might as well move on to the next question now. After the shot. Okay. All right.
I don't want to be safe. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not deleting none of that. Yeah. For those listening and not viewing, she clearly defined that there's an edge point to the stage. So yeah, Stevie's probably not going to dance. I told you it'd be fun. It'd be silly.
Those are good questions.
we learned that the Reverend and First Lady loved their biblical time, their worship service, if you will. So they created their own option in one of our questions, which is a first. Option B. Didn't see that coming. And you guys are both going to see Prince. I love it. Those are all of the questions that we have for you. We thank you so much for carving out the time to let us learn a little bit about your puzzle of love, sharing some of the pieces with us. Hopefully, there were gems picked up by those who are listening. I know I certainly am going to put some nuggets in my tool belt, potentially add some uh, reading sessions as a family together. I thought that was really cool. Those who are listening and may want to continue to listen, if you don't already, make sure you follow the Puzzle of Love podcast on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search Puzzle of Love Pod. You can also follow and smash the subscribe button, as those YouTubers say, on YouTube, and follow Puzzle of Love Pod as well. And if you stream podcast and you're listening on any of the streaming services, search Puzzle of Love. You should be able to find us there as well. If you want to talk to us, we'll talk back. Feel free to email us. However you want to get involved with the Puzzle of Love podcast, we certainly do appreciate it. Keep listening. And please, please support this wonderful couple in all the many ways that you can. Their information will be in the show notes for you to be able to access them via email or however they decide that you should access them. One of the many websites that Rosa manages, and socials and all that fun jazz. Till next time, peace.